Yo, I'm Kurose Gaming, and welcome to the channel. And I fucked up. So originally, I was supposed to release this video tomorrow. Cause the time of this recording is Saturday. I was going to finish some last minute, touch-ups on editing, but it was trash. I hated it, so I just scrapped most of my live footage, and right now I am, in the process of recording it. Like, this is gonna be recordings of my live footage. This is a lot better than what it was before. Now, alongside that, I've also been really busy lately. I just recently started my next semester of college, or second semester of college, you know what I mean. And yeah, I've been very busy. So an update video is in the works right now, just to give you guys an idea of what's gonna be going on, if there's gonna be any changes, and so on and so forth. But anywho though, let's go in this little string of reviews with the Hideo Kojima classic, Snatcher. Yeah, I know what you're thinking.
What about Metal Gear? And what the fuck is a Snatcher?
Well, yeah, yeah.
In 1988, Japanese audiences were introduced to Snatcher, a visual novel developed and published by Konami, with the main man behind it being Hideo fucking Kojima. Damn, I love this man! I apologize. The game originally released on the PC 8801 and the MSX2, with both US and PAL regions eventually getting the game in 1994 on the Sega CD. The game focuses on an amnesic man named Gillian Seed, who joins a task force known as Junker, who are responsible for taking care of Snatchers, humanoid bioroids who are killing humans and taking their place in society.
Basically, this game is a mix of Blade Runner and Terminator. Mix them babies up together and then you have Snatcher. You're going to see a lot of references of that and Metal Gear. Trust me.
While the game was a financial success in Japan, it flopped here in the States but would grow to have a cult following to the point where people were even making their own ports of Snatcher.
Damn, that's some dedication.
Critics and fans alike regarded this game as being groundbreaking due to its cinematic presentation and mature themes, which was uncommon during the time. This game will also be a landmark for Kojima, as it would be the foundation for themes present in later Metal Gear games.
Now, considering this is a visual novel game, you basically going to be doing your one of three things. You're either going to move around from place to place, investigate, or you're going to shoot shit. That's literally the whole game.
For this review, I will be talking about the Sega CD port, and yeah, I could do the PC Engine port considering it now has an English translation, but due to some stuff in that game, kinda, you know what, nah, you'll find out eventually.
Just in case you guys actually want to play the game, I've introduced a timestamp so you can just skip right into the gameplay. Now, if you still want to stick around, then yeah, I'm spoiling the story rotten. Completely. So, prepare yourself.
Okay, so let's go to the past real quick. On June 6, 1996, a bioweapon created by Russians known as Lucifer Alpha releases into the atmosphere, killing damn near half of the world's population.
Damn, too much.
After this incident that's known as the catastrophe, we fast forward to 2047 where humanoid bioroids known as Snatchers begin appearing across Neo-Kobe City, killing humans, donning their skin, and living within society.
Again, just like the Terminator.
3 years later, we're introduced to Gillian Seed, an amnesic man who believes his and his estranged wife Jamie's past is connected to these mysterious Snatchers. As such, Gillian joins a task force dedicated to finding and eliminating Snatchers known as Junker. In the first act, he meets with the team consisting of Chief Benson Cunningham, receptionist Mika Slayton, and mechanic Harry Benson. Once he gets his trusty blaster and robot navigator named Metal Gear Mark II,
yeah, you're gonna see that a lot.
The group gets a distress call from Junker agent Jane Gibson at an abandoned factory. Gillian and Metal heads to the factory only to come across Gibson's what the fuck?
And if you're curious, yes, it gets worse from here.
The duo investigates and gather evidence from both Gibson's body and his destroyed navigator Little John, and briefly encounters two Snatchers. After being swarmed by little robots known as Insectors and discovering a time bomb in Little John, Gibson and Metal manage to escape the factory by the skin of their ass hairs. With the evidence they got, Gillian continues Gibson's investigation and goes to avenge him. During his investigation, Gillian discovers a floppy disk which leads him to Gibson's house where we meet his daughter Katrina. Using an antique PC-68, Gillian looks into the contents of the floppy disk and discovers that Snatchers are weak to UV rays. In order to avoid developing skin cancer, They need to use sunscreen even in the dead of winter and can only go out at night. Alongside learning earlier that Gibson had eaten buffalo, which is illegal in Neo Kobe, they contact and meet up with his informant Napoleon, who directs him to Outer Heaven. After getting a description of a man Gibson was following from the dancer at Outer Heaven, Gillian uses a supercomputer known as Jordan to try to find them, leading to two potential suspects, Ivan Rodriguez and Freddie Nielsen. Gillian first meets with Ivan, who basically is a crackhead.
Remember, kids, don't do drugs.
He later meets with Freddy's wife Lisa, who turns out to be a Snatcher. After killing the snatched Lisa, Freddy shows up and almost kills Gillian before being saved by a bounty hunter named Random Hajil.
The fuck is that? Oh, never mind.
In the second act, Harry gives Gillian a photo from Little John's memory being in a hospital named Olean. He goes and investigates the mysterious hospital, only to be called by Mika saying that Katrina is missing. Gillian rushes to Katrina's home only to discover her dog has been killed by a Snatcher. They eventually find her back at Gillian's apartment, and after the most anime scene imaginable, we find out that the hospital Gillian was going to was actually called Queen's Hospital. During their initial investigation, Gillian discovers a patient record all in Chinese and decides to search for Napoleon, who's working at Outer Heaven. Napoleon translates the record, which includes the chemistry symbols beryllium, nitrogen, sulfur, and oxygen, which ends up spelling out Benson. With this knowledge known, Gillian and Metal heads back to HQ, only to discover that both Harry and the Chief is missing, and we learn from Jamie that Queen's Hospital has a secret basement. On his way to the hospital, Gillian's turbo cycle begins malfunctioning and discovers that it's been tampered with. Just as he almost ends up driving off a cliff, Random comes and saves him again. The two head to Queen's Hospital and discover the secret basement, which has the same layout as the main floor. Their investigation leads them into the morgue, where they discover Freddy's and Lisa's skeleton, as well as the body of Dr. Chin Suo, that also is a skeleton. They examine the still decomposing body to find out in horror that the body belongs to Chief Cunningham, and we learn that he has been dead for over a month. Eventually, Gillian and Random are attacked by the snatched Chin Suo and a group of other Snatchers, with Chin Suo telling the duo of their plan for world domination. Random ends up blowing himself up, allowing for Gillian and Mel to escape through an air duct into an abandoned subway system. After ending up in Freddy's apartment, Gillian has a run-in with Chin Suo, with Gillian quickly killing him and heading over to Junker HQ. Gillian discovers an unconscious Mika, and after she awakens, tells Gillian that a Snatcher infiltrated and attacked both Mika and Harry. Gillian searches for Harry only to find him on the verge of death, and after a brief conversation, ends up dying in Gillian's arm. Gillian and Metal search for the Snatcher, later discovering that it's the snatched Cunningham. They corner him at the front entrance, but he has Mika as a hostage. After a brief battle, Cunningham tells the group that they're going into phase 2 of their plan before abruptly dying. Later, they receive a call from Jamie, telling Gillian 2 things. First of all, she ends up recovering her memories, and kind of wishes that she didn't. And 2, she's being held hostage by Snatchers. In the final act, Gillian, Mika, and Metal gather all the evidence of the case and manage to link it back to Russia, with the Snatcher's presence being linked to Snow 9, an allergen that can disrupt electronic communication. Using the map seen at Freddy's house, they manage to pinpoint where Jamie is being held hostage at, being an old church that resembles the Kremlin. Before heading over there, however, 2 things end up getting told to us. First, we learn a little bit about Gillian's past. Gillian used to be a CIA agent tasked with spying on the Russians, and for the reason why he lost his memories in the first place, it was due to being put in a cryogenic sleep for over 50 years.
The second, he gets access to identity by Mika. Yeah. I'm lying to you, that's not the second thing Metal tells them.
Now, the actual second thing that we're told is that Harry is Gillian's and Jamie's son. Wait, what the fuck? Gillian and Metal heads to the church where they discover a bunch of Snatchers waiting to be quote-unquote born. Metal heads outside to request for backup from Mika. Meanwhile, Gillian fights off against a wave of Insectors and Snatchers, eventually reaching Jamie.
Now at this point, you might want to get some popcorn and maybe a drink, because this part is going to be long as shit.
After finding Jamie, we end up learning the true culprit of this whole incident, being Elijah Wadner, who is the son of the late Petrovic Modner, who is in a vegetative state right now. Eventually, Elijah goes and informs us that his father is dead, and he needed him for an important project, but alongside that, ends up deciding to go on his good old...
Alright, time for a villain monologue. Get it started.
I've changed, Jamie. changed me.
I can't believe it.
Happened to me? Jamie, do I act?
God, this shit is boring. Okay, let me sum it up for y'all.
Jamie, Elijah, and Petrovic were involved in the top-secret project known as the Snatcher Project, with the intentions to replace the world leaders so the Soviet Union can maintain power. Elijah during the time was head over heels for Jamie until Gillian pulled up and said, "Baby girl, what's your name?" The jealousy he felt, plus the cancellation of the Snatcher Project, led to Elijah basically releasing Lucifer Alta, afterwards instructing the couple to go into Cairo sleep until the bioweapons decided. Elijah awakens 10 years after the events with the intentions on waking up Jamie and leaving Gillian to an eternal sleep. However, Elijah decided to just leave the couple sleeping while he worked on the Snatcher Project. By the time the couple reawakens, Elijah decides to use the Snatchers to destroy and wipe out humanity as he sees them as being weak and incompetent. Elijah later brings back Random, who is revealed to be a Snatcher created by his father to hunt down other Snatchers, and beyond his technical advancements, his skin is the key to practically making the Snatchers a lot stronger, basically being able to be exposed to the sun. Elijah also reveals that Random was built with the appearance and memories of Elijah, with Random Hajil literally being Elijah Modner in reverse. After Elijah's long-ass monologue, Random reactivates alongside Metal Gear, pulling up with a guide system used to launch an orbital cannon at the church. Gillian and Jamie manages to escape, and Metal Gear launches the orbital cannon, destroying the church. In the aftermath of everything, Gillian decides to go to Siberia alongside the recovered Metal Gear. Wait, sorry, real quick. Is that a Sega CD? Okay then, anywho, in order to recover more of his past and destroy the last remaining Snatchers, with the game ending in one last message. Throughout history, suspicion has always bred conflict. The real conflict, though, resides in people's hearts. This conflict has just begun.
Oh, this story was long as shit. Okay, but what do I actually think about it?
2 words. Pretty good. The overall mystery that's present in the story is great. The game drops clear and subtle clues as well as some foreshadowing here and there, leading to a satisfying experience for when you piece everything together and see how things play out. The story has okay pacing, though sometimes the story will move at a snail's pace. This is especially the case for Act 2 and Act 3. Other than that, the story does have some problems.
Hey, and there's no second problem. There's only one problem, so, sorry if the printing part is fixed first. Yeah, I'm not re-recording lines. That's on God.
The first problem is that some of the events and characters can come off as a cliche. The main example of this that I want to bring up is Jamie. Now, at the end of Act 2 and Act 3, Jamie's character goes through what's known as amnesic dissonance, which is when a good/evil person ends up remembering the past and the fact that he used to be good/bad and then turned good and all that mumbo jumbo and stuff. Now, the story doesn't really do a lot to cover this up, as the foreshadowing with Jamie's character is just like right in your face. And you can kind of tell too, like, okay, something's gonna happen, so it's gonna play a major part of the story somehow, some way.
So stated before, this game is a visual novel, so what's the gameplay like? Or for what little it is?
Okay, so, as stated before, Snatcher is a visual novel. As such, the majority of the game will be you going through text. Instead of it being a point-and-click adventure game such as The Curse on Monkey Island, you basically go through different options given to you by the game. You can move, look, investigate, ask, talk, do something, use/show possessions, and use Metal Gear either to use the video phone or save the game. For the most part, progression is linear, but can be slow as hell because each area may require you to go and press damn near every option, sometimes even twice, just to progress. Now, an example is finding Napoleon's password by looking through Jordan. This quote-unquote puzzle, for the most part, is simply searching for a possible password to a question that Napoleon had asked you. Now, you're not going to know what it is, and as such, this puts the game at a screeching halt and has you spend almost up to an hour trying to find the answers. The best solution for getting through this game is using a guide, and you better use it, as this 8-hour game can easily turn into a 16-hour game if you're not careful. Depending on where you're at, you may be put into a shooting range like minigame where you have to shoot the enemies on screen. You have a life bar and can only afford to get hit a total of about 5 to 6 times before it's game over. These can be annoying, especially later on when you're dealing with the stronger and sector variants. Now, you're not always gonna fight Snatchers, but when you do, it's easy as fuck. Just aim for the head and shoot.
So the gameplay really isn't bad. Yeah, it can be really slow at times, but luckily it isn't, too annoying, but it can be for some people. Now for the gunplay, however, fuck that shit, especially for the last few segments. It could do a whole lot better. Like if they were to ever make a port of it, it could be a whole lot better. Suggestions, people. But anywho, though, let me switch on to something a little more interesting.
Okay, let me get this out of the way first. Snatcher's soundtrack should have no, and I repeat, no fucking reason for being this good. Every track nicely fits with the tone of the scene or an event, and not only that, it is funky, catchy, and it's just groovy as fuck. Like, I don't even know what genre this soundtrack is trying to do, because there's jazz, synths, this funk, this, oh man. Now, if you're curious on whether or not you should play on actual hardware or play through emulation, I'm just gonna wrap it up and say play through emulation. Why? Buying a physical version of Snatcher will run you up to, and I repeat, $2,000 fucking dollars. I repeat, $2,000 fucking dollars.
What the fuck?
One more thing, the Sega CD and PC Engine has full voice acting, which is...
I found out that they undertook a major expansion project in 2035 to put in a basement. That's right, they have a basement.
at least better than Resident Evil. Hell, even better than House of the Dead.
I've been waiting for you, friends.
Oh god. Nonetheless, my time with the Sega CD version was good, but in the beginning, it was annoying as shit.
Hey, real quick editor note, that's being recorded at 12:52 a.m. If you decide to play the Sega CD version and your ROM files come up as an ISO and your audio file comes up as an MP3, change those MP3 files to WAV, because if you don't, it's gonna fuck up. Long story short, easy way to say it, it's gonna fuck up and you're going to hate life. So, what's my verdict for this game? Now, as much as I love this game, I can't recommend it to everyone. Now, if you like Phoenix Wright, Danganronpa, or hell even Steins Gate, then I can say confidently that you're going to like this game. Now, if you don't like adventure games or visual novel games for whatever reason, then you're better off watching cutscenes of it on YouTube, because I feel as if, even if you do not like these, genres of games, the story in and of itself is really good, especially if you like Blade Runner, Terminator, or any other type of cyberpunk story.
Snatcher's cult following is a quarter of a reason that I got into visual novel games and retro games as a whole. And after playing later Kojima games like Metal Gear Solid 2 and a little bit of Metal Gear Solid 4, I can easily see Snatcher's influence within those games. Now, to this day, I still see people asking Konami for a new Snatcher game. However, considering that, well, they may not be making games anymore, we can only hope that Kojima either gets the rights to the game, or maybe make one of his own that's even better than Snatcher. Who knows?
With that said, the review is done. So first of all, I'd like to thank you guys for watching these videos, liking, and subscribing, and I hope if you're just, a newcomer, you maybe subscribe. Maybe. Just maybe. Now, I'd like to also apologize for this video taking so long to come out. I wasn't happy with it. I just had to redo it. But luckily, I feel like it's going to be a whole lot better now. So, hope you guys do enjoy. You have enjoyed the video. I mean, yeah, I can't speak right now. So, in terms though of that update video I mentioned early on, yeah, there's going to be an update video maybe a day after the next video comes out. 2 days maybe. I'm still trying to figure out when I'm going to release it. But the update video will give you guys an idea of what's going to be going on for the future of this channel, and of course a couple other things I'm going to do as well. Considering especially I started my spring semester of college, so uploading videos may take a little longer. I underestimated it, and I'm pretty sure it's going to eat my ass now. Oh boy. So until then, stay safe and stay vibing, my guys.